Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular here at Mr. Super Oz, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy.
Raw.
Let's get to it.
All right. What's up?
Yeah, I'm about to say 1-6. First Raw of the year.
Yes, first Raw of the year.
And you know we got to start off big. So let's start off with the biggest thing we possibly can. Team Angle walking down the ring. Kurt, Shelton,
Charlie
Haas,
yeah.
and Stacy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that she's a part of the group.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
I mean, it was without her they wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. But I mean, in the shoot world, it was Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
But here in the working world, we got a much better looking brains behind this.
About to say, better looking. Nice that Stacey has a brain for the first time in her career too.
Yes.
So we'll take the small victories where we can get them.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Stacy's
Brain.
well, not her brain, but her good treatment that she's gotten on the Monday Night Raw.
Of course.
While we're starting the year of 2003, I want to get this out of the way first. There has been a behind-the-scenes trade for
yes.
Raw and SmackDown. Raw has gotten Tori Wilson from SmackDown, and SmackDown will get a pickup from Raw to be revealed down the line.
Of course. Glad you reminded me of that because, I booked this episode before.
Oh, exactly. I'm just putting it out there.
Yep, but good. You're looking out. Glad you said something.
But yeah, I literally went through all the year and just took her off because everything I had, I was ashamed of. So I was like, can't do it. I was like, I'm too Vince here. I can't be doing it my way.
Can't get away with it. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I could. I just didn't want to.
Yeah. No, I'm a fan of it. I'll have Tori will not pop up until February, but we will have good stuff.
Yeah. I have faith in her.
Once I
you,
think it.
more specifically.
Well, so, as long as you have faith in somebody, I feel like we'll make it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Team Angle comes down to the ring. Kurt tells the crowd, last time he saw him, his back was against the wall. He was down and out. He was nursing injuries. And while he was preparing for this heroic return, Stacy was out putting in work. She was out scouting for people who could watch my back, people who could make sure that I hold up the lofty standards of being the Olympic hero.
Love it.
And what better two guys for that than two amateur wrestling greats in Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. Say, you want to talk about how good these guys are? Shelton Benjamin was Brock Lesnar's roommate when he was in, what was it, Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm going to say the University of Minnesota.
University of Minnesota.
I think that feels right.
About to say, I didn't actually write it down. So
I know where Charlie went. It was
off
Seton Hall University.
Cool.
I just know that it stood out. Jim Ross loved saying it.
I'm about to say, he was a big fan of that. Big fan.
Because it was Oklahoma. So he loves him from Oklahoma.
Love him, Boomer Sooner and all that.
Exactly, whatever that means.
But yeah, so Stacy, if you ever watched the Paul Heyman speech in IRL,
absolutely,
pretty much just regurgitates that as far as why these two are great and why they're a great fit for old Kurt Angle.
Absolutely, and it's true though. It is true. It's true. And I personally just feel like there's so many people that, like Nick Nemeth is a great example of a guy that if you would have leaned into his being the winningest wrestler in Kent State University,
Which
or
is insane.
Jake Hager with his, I mean, I get it. They said Jack Swagger's an All-American, but Jack Swagger's not a real person. So if he would have been Jake Hager, then you could emphasize when he actually won.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like it when we get to be based in reality
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Charlie and Shelton and Kurt.
I enjoy the fantasy of professional wrestling, but sometimes having that reality does.
Oh yeah,
does add something.
exactly. Yeah.
So I definitely get where you're coming from there. Stacey says individually they are great, but together they are wrestling's greatest tag team.
You're jumping ahead. I like it. Yeah.
Might as well give him the name
If
now.
it works, it works.
I'm about to say,
Yeah, I'm
might as
all
well
about
give
it.
him the gimmick now.
Yeah.
Especially since there's no one on Raw's roster right now that like wrestles
Yeah.
better than them.
Yeah.
So definitely was there. Kurt finally says it's
It's kind
time.
of like what we did with Evolution. We didn't waste time doing
Yeah.
Deacon Batista or
About-
whatever Randy
whatever
was
the
wasting
fuck
time.
Randy was
Yeah,
doing
nothing.
before. My God, it was. Yeah, because wasn't he flirting with was it Stacey?
Yeah, it was Stacey.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord.
Well, technically, she was the one who she wasn't flirting. She was just impressed.
Yeah, about
She
to
was
say,
like-
she was a big fan. Of
She was a
his.
big fan.
Big fan.
Yeah, that's why they ended up dating later, just so he could give her the RKO
Yeah.
on
Yep.
TV. I mean,
Yep. I remember that. Oh Lord. Yeah, the first 2 years of Randy's career was
questionable.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice, but yeah, very
Yeah.
questionable.
Yeah,
But it's okay. He turned it around.
absolutely. Nah, I don't think he was ever gonna make it.
Done. Oh man. But yeah, Kurt says it's time to settle this issue with Hardcore Vice once and for all, with the numbers even, and challenges them to a 6-man tag team Hell in a Cell match at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
Will you still have Raven by then?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, don't worry. I
I was-
mapped it out.
I was worried. I was-
We're never gonna make that mistake again.
okay, that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. I would have let you slide.
Trust
It's
me.
worth it.
Trust me. You understand because I remember how upset you were when.
There's a certain fella who always messes me over.
Yeah. So poor guy. So I double, triple check because I want to make Raven
Smart.
a big deal
Smart.
while I have him for
Yes.
this very, very ungodly short amount of time.
Yeah, but that's a great match to book. I'll tell you what.
Thank you. And it's the perfect thing for the ECW guys. Of course, Raven comes out, says he accepts, and tells Angle to be careful what he wishes for.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
I mean, I keep falling into that trap, but it's whatever.
It's really
It's so easy.
It's so easy. But yes. Yeah, that's the opening segment of Raw though.
I like it.
Next up we have our girl, the last winner of the year for
Oh, Molly
for AEW.
Holly.
Molly Holly
Yeah.
comes out celebrating her big title win. You got the confetti, you got the birthday cake, the dance. No, I'm
Yeah,
joking.
the babyface treatment.
Babyface treatment.
Yeah, I like
Crowd's loving it.
Yeah,
Big smiles. Molly's walking around the ring, signing autographs, kissing babies.
that's smart. I
Classic
like the
stuff.
autographing thing.
And just takes the mic and just wants to thank the audience for always supporting her and appreciating her for all of her hard work. Because in real life, I'm a big Molly Holly.
Of course.
But she's just that woman is just like an awesome person.
And to me, it was always puzzling the choices that Vince made.
It
with
wasn't
her.
wasn't that puzzling to me. She wasn't tall with big boobs and blonde.
What I mean is, she had talent.
Yeah.
That's all I meant. She had talent,
Yeah,
right?
Vince isn't like that. I'm about to say none of it surprised me at all.
It made me sad.
Like Trish got lucky because like he had all the other qualities that Vince liked, and even then she still didn't get away with it.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Yeah, she had to suffer through a lot.
yeah, she had a ton. It was
I guess everybody had to suffer through a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Lita, it happened at the end, but she still got it.
yeah. No, she got it while she was there too, but to be fair, that part was self-inflicted.
Oh, sure. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, a little.
Some of it was self-inflicted.
I know she did it. I know she did the deed, but my goodness, it was a lot of suffering. Suffering for it. I'm like, my goodness.
Good lord. But yeah, I don't think you're a woman in WWE without getting something from Vince.
That's true. Yeah, especially. I mean, when do you think it stopped? Is it when Stephanie invented women's wrestling, or was it even after that? Because there's some like clear line where it's like.
To be honest, I don't think it ever stopped because Vince is still there.
True.
But I think it's gotten extremely better.
What I mean by
like,
stopped, right?
Yeah.
Is so when Stephanie invented wrestling, she brought Becky, Charlotte, Paige, all them to the main roster at the same time.
Yeah,
I guess
submission
Paige was already
sorority,
there.
of course. Yeah.
Yes, when that gimmick that I'm not gonna pop up. So when Stephanie invented
women's wrestling on that
it
night.
seems as though that might have been when they began to start being nicer to women.
Yeah, that's because they realized it was a PR nightmare at that point, so they wanted.
Oh
to,
yeah, yeah. I'm not saying why they did it. It just
Yeah.
seems like that might be the day that they said, "Why don't we just
You
stop
know what the day
taking
was?
everybody's clothes off
I think
for no reason?" Because like on my ECW reviews, Kelly drives me nuts. It's like,
yeah,
why,
you're
why
not,
are you so
not
stupid?
a fan. Yeah,
Why are you so stupid?
yeah. I watched it literally before I came over here. I watched your review episode 3 and 4, currently on the channel.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the thing that drives you insane is the Sandman segments and the Kelly
Yeah.
segments.
I'm telling you, if those weren't on episode 3, it would have been a 5-star show.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because I remember those episodes. Those are good.
yeah. Like Kurt Angle versus Rob Van Dam. Who's ever going to be against that? Nobody. Nobody going to be
That's
against that.
phenomenal.
Like that's peak Perk Angle right there.
You know what it was? You know when the swing around turn when they got rid of the Divas title.
I think you're right. Yeah. Well, and that's what happened when Charlotte was promoted. Is she was the last Divas champion.
Yep.
So you're right.
Very last first women's champ. Well,
Of that era.
of
Yeah.
that era.
Yeah.
But yeah, because even then when they brought in Becky Page and Charlotte, like there were still the Bella
Struggles,
twins,
yeah.
AJ Lee making out
Yeah.
stuff. Like there was still like stuff. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
We actually have people wrestle. Well, AJ's been able to wrestle this whole time.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
I digress.
She was doing her best to help everybody.
Yeah, like she was literally. AJ Lee is the very definition of I'm trying to carry everyone here, and the weight's too much. For my
There's
shoulders."
this awesome 3-count video from Wrestle Talk, and both Pete and Luke have the same 3 words for Beth Phoenix: in wrong era.
Yeah. I honestly couldn't think of better.
Yeah, it's true.
But yes.
Yes. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No, honestly, it was a good
it's
conversation.
True, it's true stuff, though.
And the reason we got on that is because Molly Holly, also probably in the wrong era.
100%.
But she celebrates her title before she's, title win, before she's interrupted by your girls, the Black Widow Alliance. Of course, before anything can go down, out comes Jazz, out comes Nydia, and in comes Trish, kind of like sneaking in, real saunteringly, like not making a big spectacle of it, just she's there.
Yeah.
And of course, Eric Bischoff, in all of his infinite wisdom, as the controversial mind he is like, I got a great idea. So we're gonna have 2 triple threat matches, and the winners will face Molly at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's really smart.
Thank you.
Like, I was wondering what Trish was doing there.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no knock. I mean, it's smart to have Trish around.
Right, but at this point,
this makes it fit really well.
Thank you. I was a big fan of it personally when I came up with it. I was like, I think I was gonna be a fan.
Yeah.
But so that'll be for I want to say next week. Yeah. Next segment we have Cena coming out challenging Christian for the United States Championship, saying he will become U.S. champion, and then after he becomes U.S. champion, will win the Royal Rumble, as Oz said earlier. Well, not Oz. Stephanie said earlier that all champions are going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, you're doing that gimmick too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Figured why not?
Yeah, that's good.
It makes sense. We'll just have Eric say it was his idea because that sounds like Eric Bischoff.
I like it. Yeah.
But Christian, of course, accepts because fighting champion.
Yes.
Also, can I just say, Christian Cage, my God,
Doing big work.
legend.
Doing big work.
Listen, if you've been watching the series, I'm a Christian fanboy as is, but this man has somehow reinvented himself on a Chris Jericho level with his work in AEW.
Yes.
So we're at time recording.
Please stand by.
Yeah. And we're back.
Yes. Sorry, we had to talk about future events.
Right. But like I was saying, like the
Christian's
work Christian
so
is
good,
doing
yes.
right now
Oh,
is
yes.
phenomenal. Russell Dream, the Nick Wayne turn, I was losing it because I'm like, it makes sense.
Yes.
The boy needs a father, damn it. Like he doesn't have a father. Thank God. For Christian.
Did you see the clip where Brian Alvarez asked him the first time he saw Nick Wayne wrestle?
Yeah.
And Christian said, "I've never watched Nick Wayne wrestle." and so he says, so Brian first says, Brian Alvarez from the Wrestling Observer. So
Yeah.
Christian says, "Did you give me a star rating?" He's like, "No." And he says, "Well, what's your question?" He said, "Have you ever seen, or what's your favorite Nick Wayne match?" He says, "I've never watched Nick Wayne
Never watched
wrestle."
him wrestle.
And so now Brian doesn't know what to say, right? And so Christian's just rambling about star ratings on it. He said, "What was your question?" He said, "Well, I asked you if you'd ever seen Nick Wayne wrestled, but you said you hadn't. He's like, oh, have you ever? Or he said, have you ever wrestled? He's like, well, or no, he said, do you wrestle? And Brian said, well, not anymore. And he's like, and then Brian says, I used to wrestle his dad, Buddy Wayne.
Buddy Wayne.
And
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And anyway, I just
that's why he asked the question. He wanted to talk. And
Yeah.
That's smart interviewing.
Yeah,
Old Brian Alvarez.
But yeah, Christian's doing great stuff.
Dude, man. Listen, it's a crying shame that Vince is running WWE. That's all I'm going to say. Like, just anyone else looks at Christian and are like, this is a money star.
I agree.
In Vince's hands, he's a tantrum throwing crybaby.
You wanted to put a dot over his face.
Yeah, like I'm like, how did you not see
How'd you miss
the
the boat?
whole
Yeah.
rest of the planet saw?
Yeah. I loved buying the pay-per-view where he won the NWA World Title.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah. Obviously, I watched that retroactively, but it was still great.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Yeah, Christian, great.
Man. Who would have guessed? TNA makes good decisions. Wild. Okay.
They didn't always make bad decisions.
Yeah. It definitely, certain management. helped
Speaking of
that build
TNA
downhill.
guys, what do you think of that Joe promo where he had the whiskey and the cigar?
Honestly, big fan of it.
I was like, Mafia Joe, I'm all for it.
Yeah. This main event Mafia Joe.
Yeah,
It's
main
that-
event Mafia
It's
Joe.
the exact same guy. in
Oh
TNA.
my goodness.
Like, and
Yes.
he pushes that energy. So,
Yes.
like, I'm convinced like Joe could do whatever he wants on
Yes,
TV and
it's
make
so-
it work.
so true.
Like, it's like if he wants to come in a sweet tooth next week,
Yeah.
like I feel like he could make
Here's
it
my
work.
thing. So, assuming that this stays going on, when we get to the year that he debuts in NXT, I don't ever plan on putting his behind in NXT. We'll put other draws. We'll put other draws.
I'm
in
about to
NXT.
say NXT needs some draws.
Yeah,
So.
but we're gonna put him on the main roster and strap him up quick because that guy deserves it.
I'm about to say if I'm booking him, he'll be champion next week.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Actually, well, yeah, this is so far in the future that I could.
of
say
course,
no.
of course, yeah.
Can we just make it so like his debut he wins the title? Because I don't think we're ever going to do that for anyone else.
You mean the Tip Top title?
Yeah, like literally the day he comes in.
I don't know. I'm not saying no.
I'm about to say,
I'm not saying,
I don't know
I don't
who
even
we're
remember
gonna have
what-
as
I
a
don't even-
champion
I don't
at
even,
that
yeah,
point.
exactly. I don't know who the champion is. I don't know what year it is. I forget.
I'm just pissing it now because I'm gonna say if we're gonna do it for anyone.
I
I
think
feel like
he's-
Joe would be the perfect
Absolutely.
person to do it.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Especially since we're definitely not doing the Brock Lesnar holds the champion for 9 years.
Of course,
thing.
yeah. So, as you know, anybody who watches, we don't book double Tip Top titles. We one
there's
top title
one
and that's
time.
it.
Just one.
The design may change, the name may change, but there's just one top title. It can go to any show,
Yeah.
but there's just the one. There's not this shared title thing, so nobody's going to take it home and sit on their couch and kick their feet up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if your name is Roman or
Brock.
Brock Lesnar, yeah. But yeah, so I'm not going to say no because I love Joe.
Yeah.
But there's actually a different pitch that I'm interested in playing around with. So
Okay.
have you ever watch or listen to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard?
Yeah, occasionally.
So the year that Yokozuna won, do you know who else was in the runnings to win the Royal Rumble?
No.
Scott Steiner.
Like Big Papa. Okay.
Mullet Scott Steiner. Tag team wrestler Scott Steiner.
Oh, so this is like old school. Okay.
Yeah, this is 1993. That's the year that Yokozuna won.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
the first year.
Okay.
It was the first year that the winner of the Royal Rumble was guaranteed a title shot at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So he made the pitch, supposedly, that Scott Steiner should win. And I think that it's so. His reasoning was Scott is young,
Yes.
Scott's good looking, and he's a great athlete. All of these are great
I said
arguments.
it takes a lot of boxes.
And he said, if we're gonna create a new star, we should pick somebody young. They did that with Yoko.
Mhm.
They should pick somebody with a unique look. Yoko had that
Yoko
too, but
had
Scott,
that too.
yeah, and had great presence. So both guys did it, but Vince went with Yoko instead of Scott.
Which is shocking.
But
in hindsight.
I know, right? But my point is, I've always liked the idea of somebody debuting in the Royal Rumble and
And
winning.
Yeah.
You know who the best candidate for that is, in my
AJ
opinion?
Styles.
AJ Styles.
I'm about to say,
Because it's rare that you have a Royal Rumble debut.
yeah.
And so, I again, not guaranteeing it'll happen, I think it'd be a good idea to play
Hey,
with.
listen, I'm not mad at the pitch.
And in that match, it was for the WWE Championship anyway. Remember? Because
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, there's no
Wait, so he
guarantee will do
debuted
that.
in that Rumble. He could have won WWE.
He could have, yeah. He could have. Technically.
What a
He didn't,
wild,
but,
wild.
yeah.
I obviously, but what a wild world.
I know. Love it. All right, go, continue with your.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Back to the actual show now.
Yes.
Let's see. Christian accepts, and obviously declares himself for the Royal Rumble, whether
Yes.
he's U.S. champion or not.
Correct.
As is his right with his record. Bischoff announces that the Samoan SWAT team is banned from the arena tonight for tonight's main event, as he has a little bit of Benjamin sticking out of his blazer.
I like that. That's a smart booking.
And then finally, we have our main event of the evening. It is Evolution, the team of Randy Orton and Batista in this case, with Triple H and Ric Flair versus Jericho and Kane, the Devil and the King,
Yeah.
for the Tag Team Championships of the world. I could do a lot of BS, but we did that with all the rambling we did, so I'll just cut straight to the chase. Evolution wins after a Batista bomb on Kane
That's
through
beautiful.
the announce table and an
Crazy.
RKO on old Jericho on the apron.
That's awesome. Dude, that's good booking right there.
Thank you, thank you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Chris Jericho and Kane's team. They've done really
As
good
do I.
work.
That's why they were on the Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a great surprise.
Thank you. Obviously, Jericho and Kane are two great workers. They've been great pretty much their whole career. Well,
Yeah.
not all of Kane's career,
Of
but
course, yes. Yeah, he's had some ups and downs.
a lot of ups and downs. But the point being, they were two great guys to be tag champions when I needed them to be tag champions.
Absolutely.
They carried the belts really well. They did exactly what I needed them to do. But it just felt like it made sense.
Yeah, now's the time.
Yeah, especially because of what happens to Batista later down the line.
For sure.
So it's good to keep them fresh in the people's minds.
I like it a
As
lot.
we have all four members. And of course, Evolution holds up their 3 pieces of gold, and Rick's like, "Yeah,
Yeah, I like it. I like that a lot.
But that was Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Now we go